of ISIS. Let me ask this. How did this administration so misread Putin? Now, to be fair, President Bush did too. He famously looked into Putin's eyes, believing that he'd got a sense of his soul. But let's face it, Putin's been undermining U.S. policy at every turn. Why did this administration not see that coming? Why did it let it happen?
Well, I don't think that anybody could predict what an unpredictable set of choices might produce. The bottom line is that at the time, a number of other things happened which had an impact on Putin's perception of what was going on.
Let me just, I'm almost out of time. Just let me comment on your comment. It seems to me that from the start of this administration, from Hillary's famous pressing of the reset button, that we've been played like chumps by Putin. This administration scrapped the missile defense program with our allies, Poland and the Czech Republic, to placate Putin. And what did we get? You know, he invaded and annexed Crimea, started a war in eastern Ukraine, which is ongoing, shoots down a civilian airliner and, of course, denies it. His allies did that. Threatens the NATO alliance, props up Assad in Syria, harbors the treasonous Edward Snowden, and on and on. I'd argue that this administration's policy with respect to Russia has been feckless. And unfortunately, I'm out of time, so I'm going to have to leave it there.
Can I just respond very quickly, Congressman? There was an agreement which Yanukovych was supposed to honor, and we don't believe he honored it. But Putin, from his perspective, had an attitude that there was a deal and the deal was broken. And he thought and perceived certain things. People respond in certain ways and perceptions. I don't believe that, I mean, and also the European Association Agreement and the way that had been maneuvered had a lot to do with perceptions. Now, we are building the missile defense. The administration came to a conclusion they could do a more effective one, and that is currently being deployed. Russia still objects to what is happening, but it's happening. So nobody pulled back from doing something as a consequence. Nobody's been played for a chump. We went in and put sanctions in place that have profoundly negatively impacted Russia's economy, profoundly impacted Russia's ability to move and maneuver in the region, and ultimately resulted in the Minsk Agreement, which we hope can be implemented fully. If it is implemented fully, our policy will have in fact been successful, because Russia will not have taken over all of Ukraine, not even the eastern part, where the separatists will then still be part of Ukraine and in an arrangement with the government in Kiev. So I just don't agree with your conclusion there. And I also think that if you look, Russia's cooperated with the United States on the Iran agreement. Russia cooperated with the United States in getting the chemical weapons that were declared out of Syria. Russia has cooperated with the United States and the Syria International Support Group and the Vienna process, and now in an effort to try to fight against Daesh
we need to go to Mr. Ted Deutsch of Florida.
It's just not, you know, the point I'm trying to make is it doesn't lend itself to just one judgment. This is more complicated and for better or worse, more nuanced than some of these conclusions allow for.
Mr. Ted Deutsch of Florida.